yes, you need to just get started, but you can't start and stop and start and stop. I mean, at some sort, I hope we would want to get older. Your consistency matters. Hey, what's up? It's Michelle. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video here on Chats with Michelle. What's up? How's it going? So in today's video, as you can see by the title, I'm going to go ahead and be sharing with you my first debut, I would say, on television. I kind of want to talk to you about the experience, how I felt, what my conclusion of all of it was, etc. So let's go ahead and get right into the video. So basically this happened about a month ago, and I just never got around to or had the time to really sit down and kind of just go over the experience and kind of what I took from it. So let me give you a little bit of a backstory. So in order for me to, have the opportunity, I pretty much reached out to the network about several months ago. I reached out to them and just kind of sharing who I was, what I'm about, navigating adulthood, pursuing purpose, sharing my journey, and just, what I believe, that everyone was born on purpose, with purpose, for a purpose. And I was just sharing that with them, and basically they told me that they actually had wrapped up shooting, but they'd possibly be interested in me coming on, later on in the month or later on in the year. Honestly, I just said okay. I kind of forgot about it. But basically I was like, okay, no big deal. I shot my shot, and I, at least put a step in the direction that I wanted to head and what it was that I wanted to do. So I pretty much put action behind my words of saying that I would like to have the experience to really just talk about what it is that I believe in, what I'm doing. So basically, long story short, several months later, they reached back out to me. They were just like, hey, we went through your page. We see about what you're talking about. You're exactly, what we're about. I went on a specific segment called High Teen. So it's just a segment that they have on the network for like young adults who are just, navigating adulthood. And they're like, yeah, what you do is something that we really, what you do is something that we are interested in, and we'd love to have you on. But the biggest thing that I really took from that experience, honestly, was, wow, like, Michelle, your consistency matters. And the biggest thing that stood out to me when I was speaking to, I believe, what I would believe to be like one of the producers of the show, was that when she spoke to me, she said, Michelle, we went through your different content and the things that you post online, and it was very much in line with what we would like to share and the message we would like to share. It just reminded me, and even reminded myself, that like my consistency is important, and being consistent is important. And then I just had this thought in my brain as to, what if I would have stopped? What if I would have just been like, you know what, like, no one's watching, or this doesn't mean anything, and I'm just gonna stop and I'm not gonna be consistent? Well, had I stopped, then they wouldn't have had anything to go off of or, reference, right? And it would have just been me, in a sense, kind of vouching for myself, even though I did. But you know what I mean? Like, there wouldn't have been no history, no substance. And I wanted to come on here to really encourage you, but also to remind myself to keep pushing forward. And also, like I've been saying this whole entire year, something that I learned when I was in my mentorship program, basically, that clarity is in the doing. A lot of times things don't make sense to us, or things don't fully make sense, or sometimes you feel like you don't know why you're doing this, people aren't supporting, but you feel like this is what you're supposed to do. I just want to encourage you to continue to go, even if it doesn't make sense to other people, or you're not getting the support that you think you're supposed to have, because in the end, your consistency will show, and it will all like make sense. And I'm not saying that this was my big break and like everything that I wanted and needed. However, it was important because it just showed me and also reminded me that things don't just happen overnight. And you could want for things and pray for things and, whatever it is that you're trying to do, but unless you actually begin to put in the work and put one foot in front of the other, things won't actually happen. And like I said, I do very much believe, because there was proof and evidence that I've been speaking about this, that I really believe what I'm saying, it made it to be more of a no-brainer, of course, to like invite this person on to the show. You know what I mean? So like, that's why I just want to come on here today, honestly, to just share that message and to share my experience and what it was that I learned from that experience. And I'll be honest, and like I'll kind of wrap this up, but I'll be honest, within like the last couple of weeks, I would say, probably like the last like 4 to 6 weeks or whatever, I hadn't been as ambitious, as driven as I normally am. Honestly, I've kind of just taken a seat back. One, because as you all know, I told you all that I started the new semester again of school. So that had kind of been a lot, but also because I've been really unmotivated. I kind of been in my head of just being like, okay, like what direction am I going? Do I still want to do this at all? You know, I told you all that I had committed to posting on here for this year once a week, every Thursday, but I was just kind of feeling like, well, what's the point? For what? Like, I don't really care to do it, or I don't feel like to do it. It doesn't seem like it's really making an impact or anything like that. But I am just reminded that, you know, the audience of one is still very much important. And I'm also reminded, like when I go to certain places, sometimes there are, like, often will be like one person of like, oh my goodness, Michelle, I love when you post, or like your last message, it would like always be on time. Honestly, for me to just be reminded that like what I'm doing is important and it's not just about me. And the biggest thing is with purpose and pursuing purpose that I have personally learned within this year, that it's usually not about you. It's not about you. And a lot of times your purpose, for most people anyways, to help and guide someone else. And through that, you're also freeing yourself as well, but it's oftentimes not about you. And for me to just get out of my head in a sense, and to encourage you to get out of your own head and stop worrying about you and how you feel and things like that, but just keep putting the work into the purpose and the vision and the thing that you know that you were called to do. And like I said, the more that you do, the more clear it becomes. So if I'm being completely honest, as I go ahead and I wrap this up, I am just now refinding my groove and refining like that space and the things that I want to do. I find myself wanting to switch it up, and I'm not really sure what that looks like yet, to be honest, but I just at least wanted to remind you and share with you, and also remind myself that your consistency matters. And yes, you need to just get started, but you can't start and stop and start and stop. Like once you pick it up and run with it, and just be consistent. Obviously take healthy breaks if you need to, but be sure that it's healthy breaks and not just you creating excuses. So that's my TED Talk for today. I want to thank you so much, as always, for watching this video. You can always like, share, comment, subscribe if you would like to, and I will see you here in my next video on Chats with Michelle. Bye. Peace out.
Okay.
Yes. Hi, guys. So I'm on set with Heinting. Thank you guys so much for having me. The set is so cute. We talked about, what did we talk about? We talked about healing. Yes.
Healing, heartbreaks, boys, girls, everything you want to know.
Where can they find you guys?
islandtv.tv or the Island TV app. And I think we have YouTube.
Yeah, we have YouTube, and we also have Instagram page. It's naya.and.tina.
Yay.